Motorhead Garage, presented by DragonFireTools.com, is brought to you by Campbell's Custom Care, your detail specialist, and by RockAuto.com, all the parts your car will ever need.
This is Motorhead Garage, presented by DragonFireTools.com. If you've got a pickup truck or a Jeep, you know they're tremendously useful, and a rack can make them even more useful, but there's a lot of shortcomings when it comes to some of the racks out there on the market. Ben, what are some of the problems you've seen with them?
Yeah, so with racks, tonneau cover compatibility is a big problem. The racks that are compatible, you can't open the covers. The ones in most other racks, you can't even run a tonneau cover. The other thing is a lot of racks are too short. You can't run a kayak, and then it's always a lot of trouble figuring out how to mount all your different gear.
So what did you decide to do with TRUKD?
So with TRUKD, when we first started, our biggest concern was, for me personally, I'm a kayaker, I like kayaking. You lost your tonneau cover ability, or they were too short and I couldn't put my kayak on. So what we did is we created a rack that was 12.5 inches tall, which is like the Goldilocks zone.
Just right.
It is just right, so you can put your kayaks up top, still keep your bed covers, keep all the raccoons and stuff out when you're camping, and really just have a really functional and clean solution.
First of all, how does it mount to the truck?
So, like a lot of racks, this sits on your bedside. This goes on the inside of your truck. You have two slots here, and if you've got like a Tacoma or Gladiator like this one, you mount directly into the trail rail, bed rail, utility rail. If you don't have that, we have a clamp system. 7.5 inches wide, so you got a huge footprint.
And this is modular, so how can you change it from what we see here?
Yeah, so this is it's a totally modular system. On the uprights, you can add an accessory panel like this one. You can mount all kinds of accessories like recovery straps, axes, shovels, traction boards. A lot of guys really like to use it for the recovery side of things, so when you get stuck, you just have the ability to grab your stuff real quick and get your truck unstuck.
Makes a whole lot of sense. Now let's talk about the construction there of all your uprights. What are they made from?
So our uprights are made from a 10-gauge steel. The 10-gauge steel is E-coated and then powder-coated. E-coating is the process that all your auto manufacturers use to coat your entire truck. So what we've tried to do is make as rust-proof of a product as we possibly can. The face plates, the accessory panels, a lot of the other parts are aluminum. So really the only parts that are still steel are the structural components.
And those are made in the USA?
Everything's made in the USA in Pennsylvania.
So Pittsburgh steel right there. So
yep.
This is good stuff. And you have a rust guarantee, right?
Yep, we have a 5-year rust guarantee against all of our steel parts.
Of course, with your riser then, if you want to run bars across, this is your standard bar bracket. How does it mount in there?
So you've got the two positioning pins, and we've got the holes on the inside here. Those positioning pins allow you to adjust the bracket, the bar height, every 2 inches from the top all the way down.
And you've made this super easy too.
Yeah.
You're not having to worry about wing nuts or anything like that like others.
Right, so we've got the riv nuts, stainless steel riv nuts in the front face of that there. So you just put your 2 bolts in. We've got the nylon shoulder washers to keep your coating good, and it centers the hole, and it's just a quick install.
If you want to go even higher, you have this riser bracket right here. It mounts the same way and gives you a little extra space. And how adjustable is that too?
Same as the other one. It'll adjust up and down every 2 inches. And then the really fun part is, if you got the 24-inch rack like what's on my Tacoma behind you, you could take that bar bracket and add that bar bracket in and create a second level of storage.
So perfect for overlanding. You can still open the tailgate there, and you can get to both levels too. Now, I know that there are a lot of accessories that go with the crossbars and that sort of thing. How do they play with TRUKD?
Yeah, so with all the accessories like bike mounts, kayak mounts, all that sort of thing, for a lot of that we have our own mounts. We like to work with a lot of the other companies. There's no sense in our minds to recreate a kayak bracket. But what we want to do is make it really easy for our customers to mount what they may already have to their trucks.
This is a J-hook from Rhino Rack, and they've perfected that there. So how did you make it able to mount to one of the TRUKD units?
Sure, so we came out with this bracket. This bracket perfectly fits our crossbars. And any rack like this, as long as the 2 bolts are in line, will mount to our bracket. So then it's a super easy install. You don't have to worry about going back to Home Depot and getting longer bolts or something like that. So we've tried to do that with all of our brackets. We'll include hardware kits, and we're just trying to make it easy.
And where someone else hasn't created a mount, you guys came up with one. This is for the extra wide tires on the e-bikes, and you guys have that thing nailed here. But what I want to talk to you about here is this Jeep here. The setup in the back, it's not symmetrical with the racks. How does that work out?
Yeah, so that's one of our kind of really unique features. What we have on the driver's side is a 12-inch setup, and on the passenger side, we actually have a 24-inch rack. So like we said before, all the parts are modular. So the 12-inch will dead end into a 24-inch. And then what we did here, we call this our Overlander setup. And what we did here is we're keeping the tent low at the 12-inch height, and we want our awning up high so you can still walk under it when you're at camp. So that's the setup we got going on, and it's just a couple extra parts.
You can get risers anywhere from 6 to 24 inches. These things are incredibly adjustable, incredibly adaptable to any situation. Find them at gettrucked.com. And you can find more Motorhead Garage presented by DragonFireTools.com just around the corner.